Friends, it's always a blessing to host you on the Family Enrichment Hub. This is Stella Obokelo, your host, and I have the honor to be continuing our series on what makes a marriage thrive. We started it with the unique value you bring into your relationship. Thereafter, we went to the role of unwavering commitment, and last week we spoke about openness and transparency in helping you build a thriving and prospering marital relationship. Today, I am going to be speaking about sexual purity or infidelity within our relationships. A story is told of a couple that used to go to work together and they would always return together in the evening. They did this on a daily basis until when the man died. When this man died, unknown to the wife, another lady appeared on the funeral with a striking resemblance of her children to her own. This lady was devastated. She already had to grapple with the loss of her husband, and then she had to grapple with another issue of a co-wife at the death of her husband. Friends, this is just to underscore the fact that infidelity within a relationship, it leaves ugly scars, it leaves ugly marks, it leaves you in a state of confusion. It tilts the entire balance of that relationship. Infidelity is not a worthwhile journey, friends. And so I encourage all of us who are in committed relationships, those of us who have made vows to love and to hold, those of us who have entered relationships where you have committed yourself to another person. Friends, for you to have a thriving and prospering relationship, you need to keep sexual purity within your marital relationship. It's a key ingredient in holding you together. Sexual purity is a glue that will hold your relationship and separate it from so many others. And so, friends, I encourage us today, let's hold it together. Let's commit to one another wholly and totally. Let's be committed to the happiness and the satisfaction of our partners. Let's be committed to the one person that we have vowed to love and to cherish all the days of our lives. Friends, I know so many people in my network of friends, in my network of employment, in my network of family, and generally all of us have so many people that we know who have gone through the issue and indeed the challenge of infidelity by a cheating partner within their relationship. It does not leave the relationship the same. Cheating leaves extremely ugly marks on the relationship. Even children are not spared when it comes to infidelity. It leaves them in a place of wonder. They wonder, it distorts their identity. They are not certain, they don't know whom to trust anymore because of infidelity. And so, friends, I encourage us, let's hold our families together. Let's keep it neat together by holding on to sexual purity within our relationships. Because like I usually hear people say that cheating is just a pleasurable act that happens between two consenting adults, and it is just the two of them, nobody else will be affected. Don't deceive yourself. Infidelity affects the entire fabric of your life. It affects everything that you hold dear and valuable to you. You will not be able to pray correctly. You will not be able to relate with people from a point of trust because what you have done, you think others are also doing the same. And so, friends, allow me explore some of the issues that we are grappling with as a society and as families that are struggling for space of sexual purity within our families and indeed within our marriages. And the first one is that our society is highly sexualized. If you pay attention to the music that we listen to, the music that our entertainers are producing on a daily basis, if you look at the movies that are produced on a daily, if you look at the soap operas, friends, if you look at the entertainment in itself within our society, It is highly sexualized, and that is competing for purity within our marriages. Look at issues of LGBTQI within our society. These are also competing for space for sexual purity within our marriages. And if you're not very careful, LGBTQI activities are too aggressive. You'll find yourself swept away because of the quantities and indeed the monetary benefits that go with it. And so, friends, I call upon all of us. Let's hold our marriages, our relationships dear to us, and let's just beware of the signs when we see them appearing before us. Look at issues of the corporate world. I've had an opportunity to work within the corporate world. And friends, you hear a language like, this Christmas, are you at the headquarters or are you at the branch? Now, by headquarters, they are meaning that is the first wife, the official marriage. And then the branch, that is the side relationships. Friends, our society has gotten so highly sexualized that if you're not careful, you'll fall a victim of these activities, and that will make you to bring in infidelity into your relationship because of the tantalizing nature in which they are presented. Look at our universities, friends. We are awash with news all the time of students having sex with lecturers in exchange for good grades and good marks. All these are issues that are competing for space of sexual purity within our relationships. I also recently listened into a detailed investigation which NBS conducted on the Law Development Center, LDC. They were wondering why so many students were failing examinations at the LDC. And what came out so strongly is that errant lecturers were pursuing students, and students who were not cooperating to exchange sex for good marks were falling victims of the poor grades. And so all these are issues that are competing for space of purity within our marriages. Another thing is our cultures. We live in patriarchal society where men's cheating is in some places glorified. A man having so many women outside, a man having children outside of his official family is a celebrated thing. Nobody's pointing fingers. And so all this will create an environment where sexual purity will struggle within your relationship. Look at the issues of the maids and the maid servants that we use in our families. Some of these girls come with the intention of they want to entice our spouses. They want to cause them to fall into sexual sins with them. They come with an agenda of they want to become another partner within the relationship. And so all this is struggling for our sexual purity within our marriages. Look at the issue of employers harassing employees. Before you're given a promotion, you have to first exchange it with sex. This is another area where so many people are falling victim. And you exchange your promotion for sex and you come back home and you must maintain your relationship. How are you going to build a thriving relationship when you're compromising in your place of work? Surely it cannot work that way. Look at the issues of masturbation. I hear of sex objects these days. I don't even know what the name of those sex toys are. And another thing I hear people talking about within our society, why should I hold an entire pig when I only need one sausage? People are glorifying sexual issues within our society, and that is competing for the space within our families, causing many marriages to struggle because of that. Friends, look at long distance relationships. If you have not established and built your foundation so strong, long distance relationships is another area of temptation where it will be difficult for some families. And indeed, I know a number of families that have crumbled because of the distance between the spouses, because it leaves a gap for temptation between those couples. Another issue, friends, is religious perversions. We've all watched these things on the news so many different times, on the many different television channels. A pastor was caught sucking the breasts of a flock. A pastor was caught having sex with a flock, and his reason is he's anointing them. His reasoning, he's chasing out the demons. He's sucking out the demons from the women. Surely, if you don't know what the truth is, you will fall for these perversions even within the church. And how will you build a thriving relationship after your spiritual leader has done all these unacceptable acts on you, and you come back home and you expect to have a thriving and blossoming marriage? It cannot work that way, friends. But that is an issue that we are still grappling with as a society. And then the pornographic sins that are all over our society. All that is competing for space of sexual purity within our relationship. And then for those of us who come from background where sexual perversion, homosexuality, where fornication and adultery is a normal thing, you find yourself struggling. Why? Because your background is weak. You come from a place where you've been exposed to these things. And so when you come to your relationship and you're playing out these same sins, how do you expect to have a thriving and a prospering marital relationship? And also issues of mistrust amongst couples. When you don't trust one another absolutely within your relationship, you will struggle. And that's where you see issues of DNA. We need to take children for DNA. DNA is an issue that is arising from broken trust within relationships, within marriages. And so, friends, we need to be very careful. We need to be very cautious to protect what we so dearly cherish, to protect and keep our marriages, keep sexual purity in order to put away the issues of mistrust that can arise. And then those who were exposed to early sex while you were still young. Truth is, when you begin sexual activities at a small age, they will come into your relationship. They will affect the dynamics of your sexual purity even within your relationship. And there are also issues of sexual denial. You remember the case of our former Speaker of Parliament, rest in peace, Jacob Olanya. There were challenges with sexual denial with his former wife. And friends, I know so many couples are going through these related challenges, and that poses a temptation which will make somebody, which will make a partner to digress away from their known spouse. And friends, I also want to help us understand that sexual issues, sexual infidelity, cheating comes with a lot of consequences. Even when you want to try to convince yourself that indeed this is between you and the person that you're cheating with, it does not live your life the same. Your family, your children, your spouse, everybody is affected around you because of this one act or many acts of cheating. And so I encourage us that with all these many issues that we are grappling with as a society, you can still take a firm position, a decision as an individual, as a couple, to say, despite all that we are faced with, we shall be different. We shall build a marriage that is premised on sexual purity. And it is possible, friends. It is possible with your determination and the cooperation of the two of you. But I also want to encourage us, for those of us who find ourselves in a place where infidelity has happened within your relationship, there is room for help. There is counseling. There are trusted therapists who can help you to navigate the issues of what next. How do we rebuild trust again within our marriage, within our relationship? Like the Bible tells us, the righteous fall 7 times, but 7 times also they arise. But you need to be willing to acknowledge that you've gone astray, you have messed, you have erred, you've cheated on your spouse. Be repentant and apologetic. In that way, you will reduce the burden and the pain that comes as a result of infidelity. Friends, as I conclude, I want to draw attention to the fact that it is a responsibility of the two of you to make your marriage work, to make your relationship work. If I can just take us back to the issue of prostitution. For many of these girls who find themselves on the streets, they are very beautiful girls. They are extremely good-looking girls. Friends, you can repackage your spouse and make them as tantalizing and as striking and as appealing as the girls on the streets do to themselves. And in that way, you will help yourself to avoid the temptation of infidelity within your marriage. Focus on faithfulness to your spouse. They say what you focus on, you magnify. What you focus on, you multiply. If you focus on being intentional about being faithful to your spouse, that is what you pay attention to. You look for material and all kinds of supportive activities that will help you to maintain and keep the faithfulness to your spouse. Friends, the Bible teaches us in Proverbs chapter 6, verse 32, whoever commits adultery lacks sense and destroys their own soul. And adultery reduces you to a piece of bread. You don't want to be reduced to a piece of bread, friends. Keep the relationship. Keep sexual purity. Be faithful to your spouse. Thank you, friends, for listening in. God bless you. Catch you again next week. Bye.